Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Louder.
Good morning.
That's better. Well, I don't know how many of you realize how blessed we are. How blessed we are to live in today's environment, in the country that we have, and the opportunities that we have. You just heard David as well as Srinivasan talk to you about the potential of this country, the potential of healthcare, and the potential that we all have to contribute towards it. We have a huge population, 1.3 billion people. 50% are at an age where they all contribute. You have the variety available from you, the spectrum available for you. You have the IT hub of the world sitting here with you. And you have companies like Philips helping us put all this together. I think the kind of opportunity that we have in this country is phenomenal. And let me tell you, think differently. I think India is blessed. Let's not just crib about what's not good about this country. Think of the opportunities that you have in this country, especially in our field. Let me tell you, healthcare in this country is evolving at a very, very rapid pace. See the key drivers that are there. See the kind of changes that are happening in the healthcare sphere. See the kind of opportunities that you have got in this country, which possibly other countries don't have. Like typically you take affordability. Is affordability a problem in the West? I don't think so. I don't think so. We are blessed to have a challenge, we are blessed to have an opportunity, and we are blessed to have a job. Look at it that way. Look at the kind of technology that is changing in this world today. A city like Pune, you won't believe till a few years ago we did not have a thing called a taxi. Can you believe it? A city like Pune did not have a product called a taxi, the typical black and yellow vehicle. We only had auto rickshaws. Come in Uber, come in Ola, everything has changed. Everything has changed in Pune. You look at the smartphone, the way the smartphone is coming. The future of this world is the smartphone. The future of healthcare is the smartphone. Stethoscopes are going to be a thing of the past today. A doctor is not a doctor unless he swings a stethoscope around his neck. Believe me, his days are numbered. The days of the stethoscope are numbered. The kind of wearable devices that you have, the kind of new product. Look at Apple, the way Apple has gone in with the phone. I mean, whoever thought a phone would give you your BP, your calories burnt, all kinds of things. So what I'm trying to say is, technology is really what is going to drive healthcare. And we are really very, very lucky to be in this field wherein technology is going to change things. Like the automotive, I don't know whether you know and how much you have interacted with the automotive companies. I mean, I don't see Detroit existing another 15 years from now. I don't see car parking slots outside the big malls in the West existing. I don't see people owning cars in the first place. Can you imagine the nightmare that these people are going through? Can you believe we worked for years, hundreds of years, developing the IC, internal combustion engine? And today a guy from Tesla, Elon Musk, comes. He knows nothing about cars, and he has re-innovated automotive technology completely. He produces a car which gives you 15 years warranty. Does any car manufacturer give you more than 1 year warranty? And that also his warranty excludes this, excludes that, excludes that. So what I'm trying to say is healthcare is changing phenomenally. Affordability is a major issue, and affordability, let me tell you, is not a challenge which hospitals are the only players who are going to deal with. It is going to be jointly done with the manufacturers. I'll give you a typical example. Manufacturers are always upping technology because that's what they are in for. To introduce better technology, to improve technology, but at what cost? Today, take an example of a CT scan. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. 90% of your CT work can definitely be done by a 16-slice CT. Then why are we running after a 250 slice and a 350 slice and a 700 slice CT? Just to fill that 10% gap? How much does it cost to manufacture or to design or to develop that? That cost is being added to the 16 slice. Manufacturing will have to relook at their goals, objectives. In a country like India, how many 256 slice CTs can you sell? But if you focus on coming out with a 16 slice, which is half the price of this, that's where your volumes will go up. It will not only double, triple, quadruple. That is what is required. Affordability today in healthcare is something which is really something to be looked at, considering the future. That we have 2 PET scans with us. Now we are looking at getting the digital PET from Philips. Phenomenal technology. Absolutely, even today as I stand here, my people are there in Geneva studying the product. We are definitely going to go in for it because we always go in for the latest in technology. But that's one organization, Ruby Hall Clinic. Does it apply to the country? Does it apply to the country? You produce instead of concentrating, and this is what is going to happen. Let me tell you one thing. This is what is going to happen. You will have to, that is, manufacturers will have to come out with technology which may not be as good as a digital PET, but which will be much cheaper, and you will make up in volumes. This country needs that, and there are a number of countries which need that. You need to focus on the 16-slice CT. You need to focus, when I say 16-slice, I'm just giving you an example. I don't mean specifically a 16-slice CT. We need to look at, it's like I'll give you the example of the automobile sector. How did Maruti come and change the world of Fiat and ambassadors? They brought in a car at 64,000 rupees or 52,000 rupees when they started Maruti. They changed the entire game plan in this country. And believe me, that's what we need to do. A company like Hyundai was not known for. Nobody in India had ever accepted a Korean product. Today, with their pricing, their spectrum of products, where are the Sonys and the Panasonics and the Hitachis of the world in India? So you manufacturers will really have to relook at coming out with volumes, coming out with products which are much cheaper, and rather than going high-end, we need to go broad. Accessibility is the main thing in this country. See, you are still tackling only a very small segment of urban population in this country. We never talk about the rural. We never talk about the urban health centers. We never talk about the rural, the healthcare clinics, things like that. But that's the bulk of this country. And when I say this country, I mean the whole world. I'm talking about the countries like Brazil, identical to us, Venezuela, Colombia, any of these countries. They are very similar to India. They are extremely similar. And our challenges at both the places are the same. So we need to really sit and see these two elements, affordability and accessibility, are really what is going to drive healthcare in the future. And unless we, as operators of healthcare, you as manufacturers of healthcare, wake up and realize the difference, we are going to get left behind. Let's be very honest about it. I mean, we can't continue running operations at price up basis. Those days, I think, are numbered, right? Efficiency. Again, India is a country where efficiency plays a huge difference because of the volumes. Because of the numbers, because of the volumes. We run a CT scan, an MRI. Let me ask you, how many MRIs do you think I do on one machine in a month? 3 Tesla. No, you can't do 3,500. We do about 800 to 900 MRIs a month on one machine. Now, what is my bottleneck? Throughput. Efficiency lies there. This country is a country of volumes. This country is a country of numbers. Like we have a digital X-ray. You know where my bottleneck lies? In the changing of the clothes. So efficiency lies there in processes. Processes are what is going to drive things. Right? With 2 PET scans, we are buying a 3rd PET scan. Why? Because I can't handle the workload. Your efficiency lies there. And we are fortunate, like I said in the beginning, to be in a country where you really have volumes. And we are again blessed, I always say. We have very demanding customers because most of them pay from their pocket, unlike the West. Everybody here pays from his pocket. And anybody who pays from his pocket always wants the best. Just like when we buy any equipment, whether it is a robo, whether it is a 3D laparoscopic system, we are paying from our own pocket, so we want the best. We don't want to compromise on that. Well, this is a very, very powerful slide. And this is a call to you guys. Predicting the future, look at the way Amazon has gone. I don't know whether most of you know about it. Amazon has appointed Gaitonde to head the healthcare business. The guy who wrote the checklist manifesto. Amazing guy, let me tell you. And they are bloody serious about it. And they are going to shake up the world in healthcare. These are the 2 guys we have to be careful of. Alexa. Alexa is going to change, I tell you, from what I can see, the days of keyboard, the days of mouse are numbered. They will end up like the floppy disk or the CD. It's all going to be voice activated. You take a CT scan, the radiologist is going to talk to the machine. The machine is going to talk back to you through Alexa. Look at the way Amazon has changed the whole market dynamics. I think, honestly, these are the 2 guys you fellas have to be really, really scared of. Because they are bringing about a change at such a drastic pace. Unless we are on the ball, it's going to affect us. So we have to really be very careful in, like Srinivas, when you're working at your innovation center, this is the trend that's going to happen in healthcare. This is really what's going to happen. What are the challenges that we face every day? And most of you are from the healthcare sphere. So it's something that all of you face. Responding to healthcare policies and regulations. How are you going to handle the Niti Aayog scheme, which the government is clamping down with a very, very strong fist? We can't just shut eyes and say, we won't do it. That's the defeatist way of doing it. But we have to sit and find ways and means of handling it. It's a huge business opportunity. Today, tomorrow, day after, let me tell you, whoever it is or whatever it is, we will have to accept it. What is going to be the shape of the workforce in this country? Like I said, with Amazon and Alexa coming in, the technician going out, the support staff going out, I don't know about the radiologist going or not, because I'll come to that a little later. That day is also not far. The way Watson is going, we already have a major problem in India. None of the cancer hospitals or the oncologists are accepting Watson. Most of you people are knowing that. Why? Is it because Watson is a failure? I don't think so. I think because they are scared. It is a fact. So we need to look at that seriously. Workforce of the future is going to be very different. Like I said, from the automotive industry, you had mechanics, you had turners, you had fitters, you had all kinds of things. Slowly that went and we only had assemblers. And now from assemblers, we are going to have electronic guys assembling PCBs and things like that rather than assembling crankshafts and camshafts. So shaping the workforce of the future is going to be something very, very important. We need to start thinking of it from now. Engaging with consumers and improving patient experience. This is something which manufacturers and hospitals have to get together and find ways and means of improving patient. Like I'll tell you a typical thing, an MRI. Two problems every patient has. There's not a single patient who doesn't have: claustrophobic and sound. In an MRI, these are the two major things which everybody has. We need to focus and find out, why do people go to a permanent magnet? They all know a permanent magnet is not the right thing. They all know that the image quality of a permanent magnet is not the right thing. But the claustrophobic person, the obese person, has to go. So we need to look at how to improve that for patient experience. It's very important that we enhance patient experience. Patient should be happy and contented in a hospital. He should not be going through a trauma in a hospital. He's traumatized enough. Our efforts should be that. Strategically moving from volume to value, like I explained to you, affordability is going to be a major criteria in this country. Let's face it, we have to tackle that. Accessibility, like I said, is also another major area. Accessibility can only come from affordability. Unless these two marry, we are not going to penetrate the last man in the village. And the market really lies there. And investing in exponential technology to reduce cost is the example I gave you of the 16-slice CT and the PET scan. We need to really look at that. I think you need to really look at how, it's like, again, going back to the automobile business, how even a company like BMW came down, you have the 1 series, you have the 3 series, you have the 5 series. Why did BMW come down to the 1 series? They need to, each one has to look at the lower segment. You cannot ignore the lower segment. You can't only be a technology plus company. You cannot be only a quality plus company. You have to spread it out. That is the need of this country as well as most countries, excepting maybe Europe and Japan. Digital revolution is something in healthcare which I'm really glad the leaps at which Philips has been working at is phenomenal. And I think they're doing a great job in this. And home healthcare, everybody says, is going to be the future of healthcare. Don't forget, one very important thing is today, traffic conditions in this city, in every city, have become such that a patient to move to a hospital or a doctor to move between hospitals has become extremely difficult. And a consultant or a doctor is like a taxi. He earns only when his meter is down. When a taxi is stationary, this guy doesn't earn anything. So when he is traveling between location A to B, it takes him an hour, half an hour, whatever it is to travel. Bangalore is the worst among the countries. This guy is sitting idle, twiddling his thumb, looking at his emails, but he's not earning. So that is something which needs to be done on a very important basis. We have to stretch out home healthcare. I'll come to how we are doing virtual clinics and things like that. But these are areas, and patient relation management is very, very important because it's finally the patient who we are all here for. We all have only one single customer, and that is the patient. We are all working here. We manufacture for a patient. We run hospitals for a patient. We do everything. So that is very, very important. Another new segment which is coming out is Internet of Things in healthcare. This is something which is going to come out in a big way. We already have it for diabetes, wherein you put these pumps on, you fit them on, and based on your insulin levels are injected, automatically adjusted. This is going to come in a number of areas now, so that a patient does not have to come to a hospital every time for everything. So this is one area which is really going to take off and expand. Like, typical example is your 24-hour Holter, right? So more and more of this is going to come in with time, wherein a patient does not have to stay in a hospital or be with a consultant, and the consultant can see everything on his mobile app. 5G technology which is coming in, provided it works, not the way the 4G works here, but Srinivas just mentioned, devices market is going to be 1.3 trillion pieces, am I right? Yeah? Can you imagine 1.3 trillion pieces of devices working in this country? All of it will work on internet, broadband, 5G technology. This is going to be the driver of this 1.3 trillion devices. And you can see, I mean, like the IICU which Philips has got, a patient walks or in the ICU, who goes through the ICU, he's completely connected, he is synced online, everything is happening online. All of it is again going to depend on 5G technology. Now, unless that 5G technology really comes in with 5G speeds, not the way you have 4G working in this country, both are interlinked. Both are interlinked. And this growth will take place, the medical devices growth will take place purely based on this technology. So I think, in fact, this is an area where even companies like Philips, Siemens, GE must sit and work out with companies like Geo and Idea and whatnot to figure out how can we bring in this technology, even if it is, worst comes to worst, related within a hospital. Today, even to do Wi-Fi in a hospital is a huge cost. You're talking about 60, 70 lakhs it costs only to Wi-Fi a hospital. This country can't afford that kind of expenditure. This country can't afford that kind of expenditure. There's something has to be worked out based on that. Wearable devices, you've all seen the Fitbit. You have seen the effect of Fitbit. This is going to expand to a large extent. This is really going to expand exponentially. In fact, a large part of the devices that he talked about is going to be guided through this. You can well imagine all kinds of parameters will be monitored online and be fed back to your consultant, who will be monitoring it all the time and giving you corrections, alterations, modifications online. This is going to be really something. So far, it has been a toy. So far, it has been a plaything. Let's be clear about it. But this is going to be the future of healthcare. Wearable devices are going to really change the way healthcare is delivered. Augmented reality is another thing. You see, in healthcare, everything is learning. And this is going to be a major area for helping people to learn, teach, academics, things like that. So, in healthcare, unlike other industries like manufacturing, automotive, the concept of continuous learning really does not exist, even IT. As much as it exists in healthcare, one of the reasons is technology change is taking place so fast all the time. I mean, this is the only area where, maybe other than the mobile phone segment, where every 5 to 6 years, no medical equipment ever reaches the end of life. They're always replaced because of technology. This is something which we should really be very, very proud of, being in this field. Nobody replaces a CT scan or an MRI or any color Doppler or whatnot because it has run out of life. Most people replace it because new technology has come in. Changes are happening, and they're happening at a drastic pace. People have to be taught how to use it. Give you an example of 3D laparoscopic surgery. We do 3D laparoscopic surgery, a lot of it. Now, how do you teach? You have to teach consultants, you have to teach surgeons how to do laparoscopic surgery under three-dimensional parameters. Look at robotic surgery. We have robotic surgery. You have to teach people across the board of how to handle robotic surgery. So every time new technology comes in, people have to be taught, and healthcare is one area of continuous medical education, what they call CME. This does not exist in any other field, believe me. Continuous medical education is something which is unique to the healthcare field. And I'm really glad that there's so much of teaching going on, so much of training going on. Like at our institute, at least I think 2 or 3 days in a week, we always have teaching classes going on, live transmissions taking place, live procedures taking place, and updating technology for people. Virtual reality is, again, a big thing that's going to come in. Again, it's going to play a major role, again, in teaching, training, academics, things like that. Today, a physician, I mean, once through virtual reality, he sees what a surgery is all about. Once he comes to know what is happening in the OT, his complete vision of a surgery changes. His complete, even a patient, when a patient comes in, he's told, okay, you have to have this type of surgery, knee replacement surgery or shoulder surgery, whatever it is. Can you imagine with virtual reality, you play him image, play it to him, show it to him in 3 dimensions. He has a heart problem, show him on the cardiac CT what are the kind of parameters he's going through, what are the blockages that are there. See, you need to keep talking and updating people on what is happening, and there can be nothing better than an image rather than talking. Image really, you believe what you see, it's like that. You believe what you see. Another thing, future of healthcare is going to be virtual consultation. Like I explained to you, driving from point A to B to C today is a thing of the past because no consultant is willing to drive. We have 25 medical centers within a 300-kilometer radius of Pune, wherein in each of the diagnostic centers we have a 1.5 Tesla MRI and a 16-slice CT. and a virtual clinic. Now, this virtual clinic, we are tied up with Tata Teleservices and we are running it at different places. There's a console wherein you sit, the consultant at one end, the patient at the other end. We sit and work out, consult and sort out. Now the consultants don't need to travel all the time. That has made a big difference. And this is the future. We have already set up 50 virtual clinics all over Maharashtra in the region of 300 kilometers. Big data is another thing. Data mining, like we are working out with a Japanese company called NHS, I think, I don't remember the name properly, wherein they are collecting data of millions of CT scans and MRIs and trying to work out how you can interpret or sort of use that data. So data, big data mining is something which is going to be of huge, I'm sorry, but I'm running out of time, so I'll rush through a little bit. But data mining is something which has got a huge future in healthcare. I know somebody in the US who's looking, he came to me, asked me, where can I get 15 million mammography images? I said, you got crazy? But they wanted IT person. He wants 15 million mammography images. He says, I'm drawing out a thing by which a patient can go do his mammography and doesn't need to talk to a consultant. That's the way things are going. Big data management in healthcare is huge. All of us got tremendous amount of data available. And it is the manufacturers like Philips, Siemens, and GE who should take a leap into this. You have a huge database of images. This needs to be tackled. Then, of course, you've got 3D printing, which is a new technology coming in. Organs are going to be the next big thing to be manufactured and sold through 3D printing. The big scope is, today we talk about transplants and things like that. We do heart transplant, we do liver transplant, we do kidney transplant. If you ask me, organs are going to be the next big thing that's really going to come up in 3D printing. Robotics is also another area. Robotic surgery is going to be the future of healthcare. It's expensive, no doubt, but that is going to be the future. The precision, the automation. Today still, robotics takes a lot of time to do robotic surgery. That's why most of the surgeons are not hung-ho about it. But time will come when throughputs will improve. Accuracies are definitely much better. Patients go home within 24 hours. Blood loss is much less. Robotics is going to be a big, big mover. Joint replacement robotics is a big area. Bariatric surgery, joint robotics is a big area. Now, this is a very complex slide, but because of shortage of time, this is what a typical hospital bed is going to look like, wherein everything will be digital, everything will be networked, everything will be integrated. Hospitals of the future are going to change. It's just like how cars have changed with Tesla. Believe me, digitization is going to change healthcare completely. Thank you very much. I only want to tell you one thing. First of all, let me thank you guys for having given me this opportunity to talk. And I only want to tell you one thing. You are living in a very, very exciting age. I wish I could be 40, 45. Believe me, you are living in a very exciting age. The kind of future that healthcare in this country has got is phenomenal. Believe me, it is phenomenal. And fortunately, we have excellent companies like Philips, GE, Siemens, Varian, who are heading healthcare in this country. I think you people have a very, very big responsibility, not to this country, to healthcare in particular, and people like you can definitely drive it. You need to really look at what I told you, those 4 parameters. Those should be your mantras. And like I said, South America is a huge market. Southeast Asia, they are all very similar to India. And we are lucky to have a laboratory in India for you guys to play around with. Thank you very much.